So we're talking about circles, and if you wanted to describe a circle, you would probably say that it's something that is perfectly round. That's probably the easiest way to actually to describe a circle. The technical definition of a circle is that a circle is the collection of points in a plane that are the same distance from a given point in the plane. So that's saying if I have a point here, and I were to draw all the points that were this far away, well, if I drew that line over and over and over and over, I would eventually end up with a circle if I were to connect all of these endpoints. And that's how we define a circle. What is the point at the center of the circle called? It's called the center. And the symbol you use when naming a circle is you put a circle in front of it. So if I have a circle, and the middle is C, then I would label this as circle C, just like that. So you have this picture down here that says the string that connects the tack at the center to this pencil represents what part of the circle? Well, this distance right here is represented by the radius. And a radius is a segment that connects any point on the circle to the center of that circle. And the plural of radius is radii. And it's important to note that all the radii of a circle have the same measure. Like you couldn't have a circle where one radius was 7 and the other radius was 10. If that was the case, it wouldn't actually be a circle. So if you wanted to change the size of a circle, you wanted to make the circle bigger or smaller, well, the easiest thing to do and the only thing to do is to change the size of the radius. Skipping down to the bottom of the page, it says the distance around a circle is called the circumference. And when to find the circumference of any circle, you use the formula either 2 pi r, circumference equals 2 pi r, or circumference equals pi times d. The d in this case stands for diameter. We haven't talked about the diameter, which is why I want to talk about it. The diameter is the distance all the way across the circle. So the distance all the way across the circle and through the center. It has to go through the center. So if I were to draw a picture here of a circle, and here's my center, I'm going to label that point C. My diameter would go from one side to the other. That would be a diameter. Or this would be a diameter. Or this one. All of these represents diameters because they go from one side to the other and they go through the center. So if I were to find the circumference of this circle, well, I know that for circumference I can either use the formula 2 pi r or pi times diameter. So I'm going to use both of them just for practice. So right now they've given me this part from the middle to the side. That means they've given me the radius. So I know that my circumference is equal to 2 pi times 1.9. And we would put that in the calculator and it would give us 11.938. Now, let's just take a random side note to talk about rounding. When we round, if it asked you to round to 2 decimal places, that's the most common way you're going to round, is 2 decimal places. That means it wants the decimal and it wants the next 2 numbers. But in order to actually figure this out, so it'll look like this. But in order to figure it out, you have to look at the decimal and look at the next 3 numbers. Because this number, the third one, tells you to either round up or stay the same. So the number we just got was 11.938. 8. So the 8, because it is bigger than 5, tells the 3, hey you need to go up. So my final answer, rounded, would be 11.94. If I chose to use the formula, circumference equals pi times diameter. Well, diameter is the distance all the way across. So it would be this whole distance all the way across. Well, I don't know what that entire distance is, but I know the distance from the middle to the side is 1.9, and that's my radius. And we learned that our radius is the same all the way around, so that means the distance from the middle to the side over here is also 1.9, and that means that whole piece is 1.9 plus 1.9, which is 3.8. So that is my diameter. And I can use that to find my circumference as well, so I know that my circumference is equal to pi times my diameter, which you know is 3.8. And I can multiply pi times 3.8, and I'm also going to get 11.938, which we said rounds to 11.94. Alright, the last question says, how is the circumference of a circle like the perimeter of the polygon? Well, the circumference of the circle is the distance around the outside, and that's exactly what perimeter is. So they are both the distance around the outside. Really, circumference is the same thing as perimeter. It just has a special name because it's a circle.